Good morning, Kathy Hager with Lantern Realty. I am doing a presentation today of Are Your Ducks in a Row? We actually did the Zoom call and the recording on the 18th, which I lost. It did not download correctly. So we are trying to do at least part of the class today. I can go over the notes and I can talk. So I hope this will be helpful to everyone. So let me share my screen now. If I can do this, and I think I can. Share screen. So here we go with our ducks in a row. One of the things that I found is this time of the year, especially during tax time, it seems like it can be overwhelming the amount of things that that we have to keep up with and we have to organize. And so a lot of times I don't feel like I have my ducks in a row. And so hopefully we can go over a few things today that'll help you to see that as a real estate agent, it is complex, but getting your ducks in a row makes you more productive and a better agent. There's a lot of times that I don't feel like I have my ducks in a row. I feel like this. I don't have ducks or a row. I'm a squirrel and they're everywhere, everywhere. And you go to look for something, you can't find it. And as a real estate agent, we are responsible for a lot of things. So we need to make sure that we have that lined up. I feel this way sometimes, and I'm sure that everyone does on occasion, especially with the busy market that we're in today. We don't have time to lag or hold up things. We have got to stay busy, be vigilant, and know what needs to happen next. So hopefully today we'll hit on some of that because our goal is to set yourself up for success by not forgetting the basics. A lot of times we want to get in depth with things and want to understand, for instance, the stock market. I don't understand the stock market. So basically, what do? I invest with a broker who understands the stock market. The same thing in real estate is most people don't understand how real estate works. So they invest in an agent or broker to help them to buy or to sell their home. So today we're going to touch on a few things, and I know it might seem like I'm rushing through the first part of it, but I promise you there's places that we will take our time and be able to go over. I do want to make sure that I am recording. Looks like the light's on, so we are recording. The things that we want to focus on today are our education as real estate agents, the dues that we have, networking, our clients and buyers, our clients and sellers, marketing, home office versus lantern office, scheduling, family time, and me time. So as you know, one of the first things that we have to do as real estate agents is get our education. Continued education is something that is required that we do. If we do not get that, we are not eligible to practice as real estate agents. We have to get that every year by June the 10th. Well, we can start after July the 1st. We can start taking our continued ed then. If you're BIC eligible, you have to do a BIC up. If you're not BIC eligible, you have to do a Gen up. That's a 4-hour class. And then we have electives. Those electives are really interesting. I encourage you. A lot of times I get more than what I need on electives. In fact, I have electives that are held over to this year because I had more than I needed when I became BIC eligible. Of course, the Gen Up and the BIC Up, you have to have those, but you are able to choose your electives. On my electives, they'll hold them over, and you can actually check on the North Carolina Real Estate Commission site, and it will show you what you need. Or if you've got it, you think, oh, well, I think I took a class in the fall. Did I get everything I needed? You can check there, and it'll show you what you got. It'll also show you if you have some to continue over. I encourage you to get all the education that you can because education is a tool, and it is a tool. This is a quote that come out of the North Carolina Realtors website. You learn more, you earn more. There are a lot of different things that you can learn that you can specialize in. For instance, you can get a certification in land. sales, you can get a certification in buyer's agent. You can be and if you'll look at their website, it'll offer those extra um, classes that you can take, that you can get certifications for these things. It said growth is an important part of every real estate professional's personal development. Without growth, you can become stagnant and irrelevant. I think that we can see that in the technology that we have that is changing daily. If you talk to a real estate agent in 1999 or 1998, they would say, internet, texting, no, we got to do it the old fashioned way. We pick up a phone, we call them, we go sit down with them, we talk to them. Well, we can still do that today, but we also have other tools and technology that we work with. And I think that as we grow in the technological world, we should also up our game as realtors to understand that. I'm not a millennial, but I do know that most millennials, they will text. They don't want phone calls, they want to text because that's the way that they communicate. And I also do that, especially if someone is working. I want to text. So it is very important for us not to become stagnant or irrelevant in the state that we're in. For our members, for the North Carolina Realtors members, to grow in their professional business and life, and that's what they share this information with us for. Use these tools, utilize what you have. By earning specialty designations, staying on top of the latest estate trends and best practices, and participating in continuing education opportunities, you can increase your earning potential and build better relationships with your clients. One of the things that you'll run into is you may have clients that want to have you to sell their commercial and residential properties. Be aware of that. Be aware of what needs to take place for that. And if you don't have the education, find someone who does have that education and try to learn from them. Don't just do what is required. Check out all the education you can get and get it before you need it. One of the worst things that I think you could ever do is wait till you have a client that says, oh, do you know anything about this? And you have to say, no, I really don't, but I know somebody that does. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. So, but I encourage you to learn and to know. I recently got my South Carolina license, and South Carolina does things a little bit different than North Carolina does. And recently I was in Tennessee and actually talked to a timeshare salesman who is a real estate agent also, and they do things even different. And I said to him, you could not offer this in North Carolina. And he said, you're right, because the laws are different, the rules are different. So be educated in that. The worst thing you could do is not know, because learning, again, is a tool for us. So if you go to the NorthCarolinaRealtors.org Learning Best Center, it's a great source to help you learn more about specializing in certain areas, and getting the knowledge is just part maintaining. But maintaining the basics is a key to all agents. We really do have to maintain what is required of us. And like I said, when I go to a doctor, I want a doctor that is knowledgeable of something that I might have. As this past year, we run into COVID, and I think that there was so much unknown about it, it caused fear. And the last thing that I want to do is cause fear with a potential client. I want them to be calm, cool, collect, and educated in what they need to know to buy or sell their home. So it's very important that we get the education that we need. The next thing that we should do is make sure not only do we have our education, but we must make sure that we have our dues paid. If we don't have our dues paid, we can't practice. So the dues and when are they due? You should know that. You should keep up with that. I put a note here, making sure you stay on top of when everything is due can be overwhelming. But if you set a system up and make a calendar of what is due and when it makes it, and when it is due, it makes one duck easier to stay in a row. For instance, I had all of my dues set up except for Lantern on a card. Well, my card just changed here in the month of March. And so I had to go in and update that and make sure that they had the correct one, because if they did not have the correct information, they would be sending me a message telling me that my dues were past due and needed to be taken care of. So we know that we have National Realtors Association. We do that one time a year. MLS and Canopy, they do that quarterly for us. My Super Key is done on a monthly charge, and it's very beneficial. And also, I will tell you on the Super Key, if you change phones, please make sure that you update your Super Key in your new phone before you have to use it, which is something I recently had to do. So I'm very thankful that I remembered to do that on my list. I checked that off. And then Lantern. And I do have to say thank you to Lantern, because one of the things that Lantern did for us is they offset our quarterly dues to where they're not due at the exact same time that our MLS is due. So I do appreciate that. We do have CCAR, or if you're part of the Charlotte, then you pay it to them. We also have our privilege license that we do one time a year, and we also have our real estate license that we do one time a year. Again, these are things that we have to pay. Now, being part of the National Realtors Association is a choice for you, but I will tell you it does have benefits, because like I said, a lot of this information, a lot of training comes from their site, and also a lot of networking comes from their site. And that's one of the things that we're going to touch on next is networking. Why is that important? I've never worked, I've never went all the way through with the VA process. So someone that has understands how they work and what their process is. If you've worked with certain lenders, you understand how their process works. Terry Whitesell is wonderful with helping your clients and educating your clients and educating you on the new opportunities that are available in the market today. Working with certain contractors. I just recently had to have some things done to my own home. And when I spoke to the contractors, I said, I'm a real estate agent. Could I keep your name and number, and would I be able to use you as a referral to some of my clients? He said, absolutely. And that's a great tool to have to help someone, because, in the market today, even a new home may have some things that need to be taken care of. Most of that is under warranty, but some of the older homes have such great potential, and people can look at it and say, but I don't know how to do that. I've never done that. So have that list of contractors that you can refer to them. I would discourage maybe giving them just one. So have a multiple list of people that you can give to them, that you can help them with, even with lenders. I use Ryan Ivory with Freedom. I use, I just said his name, Terry Whitesell with Fairway. I use him. I mean, there's other people that you can work with that you can help your clients with. So lenders, contractors, lawyers. It is so good to be able to have a lawyer that specializes in things. I just had a client to ask me about a divorce lawyer. Unfortunately, well, I didn't know one. So I had to call a friend of mine and ask. Nick with NIP has been so good to help with estate planning, which everyone should have, and helping us with that. NIP Law offers that. But Nick has been great about, if he can't help me or my clients, he can refer us to someone that can help us. And I do appreciate that, having that, available to us. Social media is a way to network with people. Other real estate agents. I know Larry Laughter does a photo shoot type thing to where you mingle with other agents, because one of the things that I think is important for us is to learn how to communicate with other agents. I think that is an art that has been pushed to the side somewhat. So don't forget you've got other real estate agents. I recently looked at some property at the lake, and it really wasn't what my client wanted. So when I talked to the other real estate agent, I said, hey, but I might have some property coming available. She said, oh, please call me, because I have people that always want the lake. And I'm like, just networking in that area. If you have something that's particular that you're looking for or looking to sell, or you have a question, Lantern has a Facebook for us to be able to go on and to ask questions and to get information. I actually was looking for a contractor for a certain thing the other day, and just rolled through the questions that have been asked by other agents and found the person that I actually contacted and is actually doing the work. So I encourage you to utilize networking with Facebook, other real estate agents, blogs, YouTube. I understand that these training classes, these Kindle classes, education classes will be going on YouTube for us. If you have not signed up for your Lantern YouTube, then you should do that, because I was able to go and watch a lot of the classes that happened during a time that I wasn't able to watch them on Zoom. So that has been very helpful. Also, team meetings, in-person meetings, or on Zoom. I encourage you, if you don't have a calendar, every week or every couple of weeks, Chris posts what's coming up for the week and lets us know the classes in advance to what is taking place. I know that there's classes on new construction coming. There's classes on forms and dotloop, and even I think I signed up for a class for dotloop on an app for my phone. There are so many ways that we can network through people. And I just had a magazine to call. It's a magazine that we've looked at before at Lantern. And she said to me, you don't have to do this by yourself. If you have other people that want to be advertised, that there's three, you can put up to 3 things on there. For instance, my son is starting his own refrigeration business. And so Solid, I could advertise Solid in there with him. So don't ever think that you're having to do something by yourself. We're going to get on marketing in just a little bit. But team meetings in person or in Zoom, that is a great way to network. I really miss that. I'm looking forward to when our COVID regulations have lifted somewhat, or maybe we're able to be outside, because there's a lot of new agents that have joined Lantern that that we've not met. And I do think that it's great to be able to do that. Sometimes on the listings, I'll see a Lantern and I'll call and say, hey, I'm a Lantern agent too. And in fact, I had to go to the Register of Deeds in Salisbury the other day, and the lady there, she said, oh, I see you work for Lantern, because I have a badge on. And I said, I do. And she said, well, my daughter just joined in Albemarle. And I'm like, well, that is wonderful. She said, well, if you ever need anything and you can't get in touch with me, just call her and she'll let me know, and or send me an email. And I'm like, wow, that is a great way to network, because we always need information. And that is part of our responsibility, is to get that. And so having a person that you can contact, I think it is wonderful. Mr. Suther, who was our structural engineer, that is such a tool. Do you know how hard it is to get information like that? And so having a tool, having that network is part of our responsibility, and it is a great tool for us to have. And then our home office versus the Lantern office. Now, I am so excited about what Lantern has done in the past couple years. Not only the Salisbury office, the Kannapolis office, which I'm a part of, and it has grown tremendously, but there's an office in Harrisburg. There's an office in Mooresville. There's an office in Asheville. And of course, the office in Albemarle. And it is so wonderful to know that if you're dealing with someone in Albemarle and you say, they don't want to come all the way to Kannapolis to that office to meet with you, go to that office in Albemarle and meet them. Just, maybe text the broker in charge and say, hey, I'm going to come use your office, if that's not part of your office. And then having a home office. I will tell you that one of the reasons that I love Lantern being in Kannapolis in front of the ball stadium, and other than being downtown, and it's such a wonderful atmosphere, and it's really starting to have a lot of foot traffic, is the fact that a lot of times when you're in your home office, you might have people that come to visit, as some of y'all know, and maybe you don't. My husband is a pastor of a small church, and sometimes I'll have people say, oh, I seen your car was home, and I was hoping that we could have coffee, or maybe you could go do this with me. Or even sometimes people say, well, could you babysit? And not that you can't work a schedule around those things and have that wonderful opportunity, but having a home office sometimes is not the best work for everyone. I think that I'm more productive when I get up and I go to the office. And so I want you to look at that and consider that. And as our regulations are lifted, I encourage you. I know that some of the education classes that we're having encourage us to either come in the office or to do it by Zoom. Well, Zoom is great. It has been a wonderful tool, but I'm going to tell you, I need people. And so actually going in the office is great for me. But again, that's something that you should look at, that you should consider and use that as part of the basics for you. Don't ever feel like that you don't have that opportunity or that privilege to go into the office because you do. That is part of us, but also by having your home office. So the next thing that we're going to look at, oh my goodness, this is a biggie, a very biggie, is scheduling. I think it is the key to all. Set a schedule and let it work for you. One of the things that Laura Overcash did was Sweet Dreams, and she does a class on scheduling and how to set your schedule and how to make it work for you. And even if you don't watch the things that she does, there are all kinds of YouTube videos and helpful real estate hints for you to learn how to schedule, because scheduling is so important to you and to your clients. It is also very important to your well-being. And that's what I said, that's what she taught on Sweet Dreams. A lot of times when I go to bed, my brain hasn't stopped. I'm wound up. I've been talking to clients. I might have multiple things going on. This has been a busy year. It's something you got to think about quickly. You got to think outside the box on some ways to do your strategy on how to get how for them to take your offer when there's multiple offers there, how to work with your clients and understanding their needs. And my brain just don't want to quit. It don't want to quit. I'm that squirrel. I'm going here, I'm going there. And I'm thinking, I've just got to calm my mind down. I need to get some sleep. I need to be fresh in the morning. I got things to do. And then I start thinking about things I got to do. So I do a schedule now on Sunday night. She even goes so far as teaching you how to prep your food for the week or planning your meals for the week. Well, that one is a little hard for me because really I don't know from day to day what I want to eat or what I'm going to have time to eat. But again, if I scheduled a little better, I probably would know that. And I do think that that has been a great tool, and that has been a major tool for successful real estate agents. This is a basic, a building block is scheduling. And that is so important for the next things that we're going to look at. Marketing. And you think, well, how am I going to set a schedule for marketing? Well, the first of the year, or even right now, it doesn't matter. You need to have a plan. And you write that plan down, it becomes a goal. And that goal helps you to utilize what you have. So with marketing, you do need to utilize your time and cost of what works. So you set a budget, see what works, you utilize your time and cost, and you learn from Kindle classes for new ideas. I did some home parties before I got into real estate, like home interior, celebrating home, pampered chef, things like that. And so I really had to utilize what I had for marketing. Well, most of those companies do provide some marketing for you, but Lantern provides you with the opportunity to have the means by not paying large amounts of commission to them for you to have a marketing budget. My marketing budget at the first of the year, I only set it for 3 months. I set it for 3 months because I knew what was coming up in January, and I knew, okay, well, I'll have the funds I know to do this. Like I said, when I first started in real estate, I might have done things a little different. If I had an open house coming up, I would print out a paper that said, come join me for my open house, and I would walk the neighborhood. And I'd say, would you like to pick your neighbors? And I'd walk the neighborhood and I'd knock on doors, or I'd stick it in their mailbox or in their paper box, not their mailbox. That's illegal. We don't do mailboxes. We do paper boxes. But just getting the word out. Now, marketing, as I said before, of utilizing your networks. Social media is a great way that you can market. As I said about Larry Laughter, he offers a program too where he can market you. He will actually take your picture and say some things about you and your business that market you. Well, our website, Lantern's website, it markets you. There's other things that work. I have a GoDaddy. I have two GoDaddy sites. One is Homes for Sale in Kannapolis. And if someone just puts that in, hashtag Homes for Sale in Kannapolis, altogether, it'll pull me up as an agent that they can contact. It cost me like $10 a year, which was really good. And you can change that, but that is a great marketing tool. There was a time, and you can actually go to Pinterest and get this information on going and doing drop-bys. For instance, you can do a thing of mints and put a sticker on it with your name and your number, and you can drop it by and maybe put a little card on there on the back that says, are you looking for some fresh ideas for new homes? Or there's all kinds of things on Pinterest that you can pick out that you can do that. That is a good way to market. You know, we did go through COVID, so it was a little bit difficult to go into offices and do these things because people didn't want you bringing things in for them to touch. However, there are still ways that you can market yourself. You can put your name on your vehicle that when you're driving. One of the best ways is to put this on and to wear it everywhere you go. I got a listing in Charlotte a few years ago because I was at Harrisburg Family Restaurant having breakfast, and the girl came up and she said, "Oh, you're a real estate agent?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "My boyfriend is looking to sell his house. Would you be able to go look at it?" I said, "Well, let me get your name and number, and I'll be glad to give him a call." I called him that afternoon. I listed it within 2 weeks, went on the market, we sold it. So that was great. That was a cheap marketing tool. So set a budget. It doesn't have to be a big budget. It can be a little budget, but see what works. Now you could go out. I used to get these things in the mail all the time. Would you like to sell your house? Now I get text messages. I see that your home is paid for. Would you like to sell your home? Would you like to know what the market value is? And I put stop because I know what it is. I know I don't want to sell my home. One day, maybe, but not right now. But that works for people. How do they get that list of numbers? Well, there's algorithms that you can have people set up for you on your Facebook that when someone is Googling, looking for new homes, Zillow has it, Trulia has it, Redfin has it, to where if people are Googling that, it pulls their site up for them. Find somebody that knows how to do that. It might cost you a little bit. Set up your own website other than what Lantern provides for you. There's a lot of ways to market yourself. Where my grandkids go to school at Rockwell Christian School, it's $100 a year, but I have a 8.5 by 11 that's on the gym wall that's got Lantern Realty, Kathy Hager, let me find the home of your dreams. And it's got my phone number and it's on the wall. Everybody that goes in the gym can see that. That's $100 a year. That's a great marketing tool. And not only that, but it helps the school. That's a fundraiser for them. You'll get phone calls a lot of times from schools saying, "Hey, we're doing this for a walkathon, or we're raising money. Would you like for it to be a sponsor? Would you like to do that?" And that's a great way to sponsor. Here recently, I just joined the union associations, where if you go to their website, it has a list of real estate agents, of attorneys, of all kinds of things, appraisers, handyman, whatever. And so it put my name and my bio in there. And so if they are looking for a real estate agent for Kannapolis, they can go. There's about 4 or 5 of us in there, and they can choose one. There's all kinds of ways that you can market yourself. Set a budget. I can tell you one of the ways that I know works is if you happen to sell a home in an area, take a picture of that home, put it on a postcard, and send it out to everyone in that neighborhood and let them know, "Hey, this home recently sold in your neighborhood. Are you looking to sell?" There is some, and actually they will mail that stuff out for you too. So check out some of these websites, check out some of the sites to see what works, set a budget, and see what you can do. Market yourself. One of the reasons when I first got into real estate, I was on a team. I was not marketing myself. I was marketing the team. I was branding the team. Well, I'm branding myself as a Lantern Realty agent. Um, and so that's what you should be doing. Branding yourself, marketing yourself. I do think it's wonderful. You can get shirts with Lantern on it. We actually have these community outreach things that we do that you can have your name instead of a badge. Put your name on a polo shirt. If you're a guy that wears polos all the time, we have a farm, and so I recently just had some shirts printed with the farm name on it. My son just started his own business, like I said, Solid in Refrigeration. He's got shirts with his name on it. That is a great way to market, and you're killing two stones. You know, you're killing one bird with two stones. I'm gonna get that right in a minute. Is you're buying new clothes and you're having the name put on it. So market yourself. It's important. See what works. Utilize your time and cost, and learn from other agents and networking what does work and what doesn't work. Putting your sign in a yard is a great way to market. Make sure you got a sign with your name on it. And then as we get into working with clients or customers on the buyer side, be prepared to meet them and ask the right questions. What kind of questions? Well, again, I did a class on working with buyers. So make sure you ask the right questions. What are you looking for? What are three of the favorites? What are the three you've got to have? What are three you don't want? Period. Are you married? Have you had a bankruptcy? I mean, there are certain things that you need to ask. And then as you're doing your preparation, if you're going to dotloop, it gives you what documents you're going to have from them. One of the first things in today's market that you really need to know is, are you pre-qualified? Or have you already talked to a lender? Because if they haven't, that's the first thing you need to do, is you need to make sure. And why? They say, oh, but why? I know I've got good credit. I think I know what I can afford. And I always say to them, yes, I understand that. But when you're finding the home of your dreams, you got multiple offers coming in, you don't want to miss out on that opportunity because you don't have what they're asking for. And they're asking for pre-qualification. They want to know that you can afford to buy the house you're getting. And not only that, but you may be able to afford more than you think you can afford. Don't you want to know that? You know, you want to know that you're not at the top of your bracket. Maybe you're in the 175 range, you think, but really you can afford 200,000. What difference does that make? Well, you're going against, well, I would say that used to be you were going against a lot more people at 175 than 200, but you're not anymore. So you do want to give them a fighting chance. So in dotloop, and I'll hold it up so you can see it just a little bit. You can check it out. Go look for it on required documents on your loop. Why is that important? Because I have dealt with a lot of people that I've had to run paperwork to back and forth to sign. I encourage you to go ahead and prep your buyers, your clients, to using dotloop, to using that, to utilizing that. So if they need to sign something, you're not having to run to them all the time. And so as you get prepared to meet them, know what you need for them, know what they're looking for after you speak with them and talk with them, and also have an idea. If you've talked to them over the phone, do a little bit of that pre-qualifying of what they need over the phone. So ask the right questions. You know, it could be that your client, oh, I love this house, but I want to be on the water. Well, you need to know your areas and know, okay, well, this house on the water is going to, oh, well, there's no way they're going to get what they're asking for it. Yes, ma'am, the market does control the price. And right now, the market is saying that that's, you know, or let me do a CMA. Let me do a comparable market analysis for you so you can see if that is a good price for that home. Maybe it's not. I actually looked at one the other day and I'm thinking, it's no wonder this thing has been on the market for, I'm like 300 and some days, over a year. because they're asking way out of the ballpark for this lot. It's a lot at the lake. Of course, it's on Baden, but I don't know who they thought was going to buy it. I mean, Donald Trump doesn't work in North Carolina right now as a real estate agent. So, apologize for that. My phone keeps going off. Know what they need. Be prepared to meet them. I have people ask me all the time, how do you get them? How do you know who your buyers are? Well, I'm just going to tell you. You get them all kinds of places. Marketing, you find them in restaurants wearing your name badge. And also, I do phone duty. I encourage you that if you haven't done that, or go hang out at the office a little bit and see the people that are coming by. Learn from people that are good agents. Ask questions. How do you do this? We do have the mentor program that helps people to understand what a buyer needs and what a buyer wants. I did put some notes here on how to set them up. You need to make sure you've got the correct information in dotloop for them. I normally, and I didn't used to, I used to put the address of the house, but now I just put their name. Because what if they're looking at 5 or 6 houses? What if they make offers on 5 or 6 houses and you got all those loops in there? Again, I encourage you. Melissa is doing a class on dotloop. Follow her and watch these Kindle classes and learn from them on how to prepare to meet your clients. This is basics. This is basics. I always go ahead and start a folder. I know everybody doesn't have paper, but I do paper, so I always go ahead and start a folder. Now, it gets a little complicated in your loop if you have to print everything out and take it to them, get it signed. Make sure you scan it and put it back in and archive the one that doesn't have anything on it. And make sure that you've got what you need to close on a deal. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row. That's important. This is really important. Why? Because we're accountable for that. We want to make sure that we help our clients to do the best of our ability and get them what they need. Here recently, I had quite a few things going on and I did not catch it. I always print the MLS down. I always download the MLS, print it or put it on there. I always do the disclosure, the MOG. If they've got a survey on there, I download everything that the agent has in there in the documents. If they don't have it, ask them for it. What did I miss? I missed the paint disclosure. The house was built 75. It was, she didn't have it in there. And I didn't catch it until after I closed. And she sent me an email. She said, your clients didn't sign the paint addendum. So I went back and looked. I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I miss that? Because I didn't download it. I didn't have it. And I wasn't following my required documents outline. So I said, I don't have it. You never downloaded it. And I never asked for it. So if you could get it to me, I'll get it signed. Thank goodness they did do dotloop and I got it signed. But what if you got audited by the commission and they want to see your documentation or they want to see your records and you didn't do that? Oh my. And one of the things that I'm really learning needs to be done, needs to be taken care of, is the disclosure that tells you, okay, let me find it. Anyway, it's the disclosure that they sign off on, whether they want an attorney or whether they want an inspection. That is so important. That is so important. Because they will come back. I just had one to come back and say, the chimney needs to be replaced. It's $4,000. She said, we didn't get it inspected. I said, no, ma'am, you didn't get it inspected because everyone that was contacted was 4 to 6 weeks out. And so you chose not to have it inspected. You signed off on that. Well, what does that mean? I said, that means you chose not to have it inspected. So, I mean, I can't be accountable. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say I'm not responsible for that. I said, so because you didn't get it inspected, the inspector did check things around it, but he did not go up and down through the chimney to find out if it needed to be cleaned out, whether the flute worked right. He didn't check that. If you got that, you need to have it inspected by a professional fireplace or chimney man. But I did offer her the assistance of telling her I knew some people that could check that for her. That would not be $4,000. And it is not going to be $4,000. It is going to be about $1,200. But she signed off. I mean, it could have got worse than that, but please make sure that you're responsible for certain things and you get those done. Don't do like me and learn from your mistakes. Have your ducks in a row. It makes your life so much easier. I recently, as I said, of having some work done to my home, I had to have a new roof. And so my office is the one that leaked. So I had to move my office into another room, my home office. It's terrible. I am not as organized as I want to be or should be, and my ducks are not in a row. So I'm that squirrel some days. That's not good. You can't do that. You can't work like that. So I slowed down a little bit past week. I've got myself in order. I think I've got everything the way it's supposed to be that I can work. And then maybe I can move back in my office when they get finished with it here in the next couple of weeks. But the basics are having everything you need. What do you have to have when you go to meet your sellers? What do you need to have with you when you go meet them? You can have a PowerPoint presentation. You can set that up and you can show them everything on PowerPoint if you're good with computers like that. Or you can do a CMA if you feel like you want to do that and show them what you feel like the home should sell for in the market we have today. But you need to make sure you have everything that they need to go over. If you don't want to print a bunch of paperwork and take it, again, I encourage you to take your computer, go into dotloop and show them the forms. But I have found for them to have a physical copy of things sometimes really works. I had a seller that's fixing to list their home tell me the other day, I don't need a bunch of paper. Just email me all of the samples. I'll read over them that way. I said, okay, I want you to understand. So I did have paper copies with me. I did go over everything with them. And then I come home and I got everything ready in dotloop for them to sign there. But I did have something physical for them to look at, for them to go over. And again, if you go to the MLS, and I was gonna download these anyway, but go to, this is dotloop required listing documents, #Lantern Realty. If you go to your dotloop, you do have these in there that you need. But I always, and when I see them do it on the computer, I don't like that. But your disclosure is important. That North Carolina residential property disclosure that you're not supposed to help them with. And I tell them that. I did bring one piece of paper, and I do need you to fill this out because I don't do digital signatures with this document. And North Carolina law requires that we do not assist you when you fill out this document. So here it is, and just read everything and follow it. If you don't know or you have no idea, you can put that no representation. You don't know. But if you do know, be honest and put that on there. You're accountable for it, but I can't touch it, and I can't do that for you. But you should know what to have ready for them. If it's someone that I don't know and I'm going to a listing appointment, I haven't said this, but you also need to include safety in everything you do. That is a basic of life. Be careful. Watch around you. People are mean, and you need to be safe. So make sure if you're going to a listing appointment, either don't go by yourself, know where you're going, make sure that people know where you're going and who you're going to be with. And a lot of people even ask for ID if they don't know the people sent to them so that someone knows who they are. But I do encourage you to find somebody that can go with you. I have a 15-year-old grandson that he could go with me and sit with me, and I would say, hey, he's coming with me. He's learning the trade, and he's done open houses with me before. But you need to know what your sellers need. There's and you might not do it this way, but one of the things that I ask them after the listing appointment, I kind of give them an option of 3 things. I can either provide a home warranty as we list the property. to encourage if there's anything that goes wrong, it would be covered. I can offer that. Or, now this is just me, you don't have to do any of these things. Or if there's something that you need, what would be the greatest need you have? I just had one lady say, I need boxes to pack, to start packing. Okay, I can do that. I can get some of that for you. I had one that said, if we could just get a dumpster out here so we can get the basement cleaned out. Okay, I can do that for you. Now, does that cost me to do that? Yes, it does. But it also costs me to have pictures made. It also costs me to have it measured. Um, and so I do explain to them, if there's any reason, and again, this is just me, this is just the way I work it. For any reason, if we do cancel this listing appointment, these things that I have provided, you would reimburse me for. And they're like, oh yeah, but we're not going to back out. But just in case, I do make sure that that's in writing and that they understand if I've spent $500 that, and they back out because they just don't really want to do it, then they have to reimburse me for that. I know you might not do it that way, but I do. So make sure everything is disclosed. Make sure you have what you need. Have your basics. Again, one of the basic things that I think you should know with buyers and sellers is have a plan. Have something that you can check off and say, hey, so I know that we're selling your house. Are you looking to buy something else, or where are you going? Or can I ask why you're wanting to sell? Oh yeah, we're going to have to find a house that, if you list our house, you're not the one that can, you're not working, you don't find a house too, do you? I'm like, yes, I can do that also. They don't know. And it is basically our responsibility to educate them and teach them. And that is basics of real estate. Why is it important to have the basics? I'll tell you why it's important. Right here's why. You have a competitive comparison. You have an agent that goes in that's top of their game. They know what to say. They have the answers to the questions. They know how to deal with people. Having everything ready to go, folders prepared or laptop ready, you know what to say, you know what the market of the home should bring or what the market is bringing. You give them, you kind of show them what's happening. Or you fumble through everything you need to look professional, and you kind of rake off the crumbs or say, oh, I spilled coffee on this last week, but it's okay. It's still a good piece of paper. Using old forms, I caught myself having to go back through some of my folders and clear out things that I had printed in the past. In fact, I think we just got the message that they took out 2018, 2019 forms so that we weren't going back and taking those forms. Why is that important? Because these newer forms are what we're supposed to have. You fumble through the answers, you're not on time. And one of the things, you're not sure of the market. One of the things that I learned from one of the Kindle classes is I had a lady say, make sure your vehicle looks good. Now, I live in the country. There's a lot of times I'm in mud holes and I got mud all over my fender wells and my tires. But she said, if you look in someone's vehicle and it's sloppy and messy, that's most likely what their home's going to look like. And I thought, ugh, because I work out of my truck. I work out of it a lot of times, but I want to be competitive in the market today. So sticking to the basics is just a matter of getting my ducks in order, getting them lined up, getting them in a row. Why is it important? Because it is so important to stay focused on what is important in our lives. And one of the most important thing in my life, well, why is it important to keep our ducks lined up? Why is that important? Because this is why. Family matters. My family is important. I don't go out and meet people and help them to find a house just because I like people and I want to help them, because I do that also. But I got chickens I like. I got gardening I like to do. I love to cook for my family. I love to treat my family and to serve them and to give them things. I love that. And you should always make sure you have time for that. This past Saturday was my birthday, and my family was so sweet. My son took me that morning, had coffee, and that evening, my daughter, we had Korean night. We're having family night once a month. So we're drawing out of a hat what we're going to do each month. January, we had Italian month. My daughter-in-law is Italian, and so she wanted to use some of her grandma's recipes, so we had Italian night. February, we drew out of the hat. It was Austria. So we had strudels and apple strudel, and we had, German type food, kind of heavy. And then we drew out for the month of March, Korean. So Saturday night, which was my birthday, we had Korean night and we had cake, and I was with all my family. And that is so beautiful to have that. I'm so blessed that God gave me such a wonderful family, not only a physical family, but my church family. These are things that I make time for. I had a client call me Saturday. Well, actually, she's not a client anymore. And she called me, and it was about the fireplace. And she's like, he's wanting to use it. You need to do something right now. And I said, I'm sorry. I will work on it on Monday. But today, I'm with my family. It's my birthday. And she said, but he wanted to build a fire. It's going to be cold. I said, I'm sorry. I'll take care of that on Monday. And I called him. This was his mother that called me. I called him, and he's like, oh no, it's your birthday. Go ahead, be with your family. I mean, sometimes in today's market, things get crazy. Do I work a little later than I probably want to sometimes? Well, I have to set my limits. And I tell my clients, you can reach me from 7 to 7. If it's past 7, I might not get it. Text me. If it's urgent, I mean, if we just found out we went under contract, I'm going to text them and let them know. I might not call them, but I'll text them. But make sure you take time out for your family, because family is truly what is important. And then this, take time for yourself. A healthy body gives to a healthy mind. You can't help others till you learn to help yourself. And that's just the basics. Um, and I'll share this. I shared this before. I started doing Weight Watchers in January. And you know what? I'm still eating pretty much the same things, but I went back to the basics of what makes my body feel good. And Weight Watchers help me do that. They have great programs. I'm on the blue team. They do different colors of teams, but I can eat a lot. And I eat more actually now than I did, and I've already lost weight. So if I can't take care of myself, if I can't take time to take care of myself, a lot of times in the morning, I'm rushing, I'm crazy. So I grab me a shake, and I put something in my body to make my body feel good. And you know what I've learned? It's when you help yourself, when you do things for yourself, you feel better. And if you don't feel good, you can't help others. You can't help people. You can't get back to the basics that we need to stay with. So make sure you take care of your family. Make sure you take care of uh, yourself, and make sure, I'm trying to stop share here. Make sure you understand how to do Zoom before you start recording a class. Thank y'all. I do miss having people calling in. I do miss talking to people. And as you can tell, I'm talking with my hands. But I hope this helped. I hope it helped me. It helped me to get it together and to realize the basics. When I first got into real estate, I thought, oh, I got to have everything. I got to do this. I got to do that. And sometimes it costs a lot of money to get started like that. And you might not have that. So stick to the basics. See what works for you. And use the tools that are given to you by Lantern. It's such a great company. I love Lantern. I love you guys. Hope it was helpful. And I hope it's okay that I had to come back and do a class by myself and re-record it. But have a great day. Thank you.